The cold morning wind tugged at my coat as I stepped out of the black car and looked up at the towering glass building before me. Harrison and Company. My company, or at least it used to be. 40 years ago, I started in a cramped garage with a borrowed drill and a dream I was too stubborn to let die. Now, the empire stood tall but cold, professional, polished, and nothing like the family-built foundation it once was. That MY's son, Michael, ran the place now. Or, more accurately, his wife Samantha did, ruthless, polished, and hungry for power. I hadn't seen my son in months. Every call ended with, "Dad, I'm busy." Another meeting. So that morning, I told my driver, "Take me there. No announcement. No formalities." I wanted to surprise him. I didn't know the surprise would be mine. When I walked into the lobby, the young receptionist looked up nervously. "How may I help you, sir?" "I'm here to see Michael Harrison," I said with a warm smile. "Tell him his father's here." She hesitated, made a call, and a minute later Samantha stormed out of the elevator, heels clicking like warnings. "Mr. Harrison," she said, cold and sharp. "Why are you here?" "To see my son," I replied. "Is that a problem?" She crossed her arms. "He's in a meeting. You can't just show up unannounced. If you don't have an appointment, you need to leave." Her voice carried across the lobby. Eyes turned. Heads lifted. Even the plants seemed to freeze as I tried to stay calm. "I'm not a client. I'm his father. And I'm telling you," she snapped, "get out. You can't walk in here like you own the place." Silence dropped like a stone. Then James, the head of security, stepped forward cautiously. "Ma'am, with respect, that is Mr. Arthur Harrison," he said. "The founder. The legal CEO." Samantha's face drained of color. I walked past her without another word and rode the elevator up to my old office. Untouched, dust floating like memories. My wife's picture was stuffed in a drawer. I pulled it out and whispered, "Looks like our boy got a little lost." After several minutes, Michael rushed in, embarrassed, tie crooked. "Dad, what are you doing here?" I can't just what?" I asked softly. "Visit the company I built? See my own son?" He swallowed. "Things are different now. Samantha handles operations. Investors are demanding. I barely have time for family." I finished out. He looked down. I took a breath. "Do you know what your wife just did?" She screamed at me in front of everyone and threw me out of my own building. His face went ghost white. I didn't know," he whispered. "I believe you," I said gently. "But something is very wrong here." The next morning, I called a board meeting. Everyone came, Michael, Samantha, and the top executives. Before business began, I told them a story about the early days, the struggles, the long nights, the reason the company bore my son's name. "But lately," I said, "I see a company built on fear instead of respect, arrogance instead of integrity." I turned to Samantha. "You're talented, but talent without humility becomes poison. This company isn't built on shouting and intimidation. It's built on loyalty, trust, and family." She stared down at her shoes. Then I faced the board. "Effective immediately, I'm resuming active CEO duties for the next 6 months. We will rebuild what's been lost." Shock spread across the room. Michael sat frozen. Weeks passed. I came in every morning, greeted employees by name, checked on their families, replaced fear with warmth. Slowly, the company began to breathe again. One afternoon, Michael entered my office, eyes moist, voice shaking. "Dad, thank you. I lost sight of what this place meant." "What you meant?" "Samantha," she's stepping back. "She realizes how wrong she was." I placed a hand on his shoulder. "Son, everyone loses their way. What matters is whether you find your way back." His voice cracked. "You really are the best CEO we've ever had." I chuckled. "Maybe, but soon, it'll be your turn again. When you're ready to lead with heart, not just power." That evening, as I left the building, the same employees who once watched me get yelled at now stood tall, smiling, greeting me with genuine respect. I stepped outside and looked back at the towering glass reflecting the sunset. "Not bad," I whispered. "Not bad for an old man who was told to get out."